Good afternoon, teacher. My name is Cristian Alvarado Primachi, and I am graphic design student at Senat. Today, I am going to present my final project for technical English, titled Identifying Basic Elements of Graphic Design. In this presentation, I will explain the seven basic elements that are essential for creating professional, balanced, and creative designs. Let's get started.
Basic elements of graphic design. Content. Objective, introduction, basic elements of graphic design. Line, shape, color, size, texture, space, typography, and conclusion. Objective. Identify and describe the seven basic elements of graphic design. Introduction. Graphic design is a creative process that combines text, images, and colors to communicate messages visually. It is used in advertising, branding, and digital media. Every design follows basic elements that create harmony and balance. First, line. Definition and use. In graphic design, a line is a continuous mark that defines boundaries for or directions. It can be visible or implied depending on contrast and alignment. Horizontal lines express calm and stability, while vertical lines show strength and growth. Diagonal lines suggest movement and tension, and curved lines give softness and flexibility. Through repetition and variation, lines create patterns, textures, and hierarchy. Lines are essential for layout design, where alignment and spacing are guided by invisible grid lines that structure the composition. If lines are not aligned, the composition becomes confusing. Second, shape. A shape is formed when lines meet to create an enclosed space. Shapes can appear flat 2D or dimensional 3D depending on the use of light, color, and shadow. There are three main types. Geometric shapes, squares, circles, triangles, express structure, order, and precision. Organic shapes, natural, irregular forms express movement and creativity. Abstract shapes, simplify real objects into symbols. In design, shapes are used to build composition, create icons, and support the brand visual identity. Also, they are simple and balanced, help communicate messages clearly and effectively. If shapes are not balanced, the visual message is harder to understand. Third, color. In graphic design, color communicates feelings and builds recognition. Each color has its own psychological effect. Energy, passion, urgency for red. Trust, calm, professionalism for blue. Happiness, optimism, and attention for yellow. Nature, balance, and freshness for green. Elegance and power for black, and purity and simplicity for white. Designers use color theory to combine hues, tones, and shades. Primary, secondary, and tertiary colors form a color wheel which helps organize harmony and contrast. In branding, color palettes are chosen to make people recognize a company instantly. If too many colors are combined, the message becomes chaotic. Texture. In graphic design, texture is the element that simulates the surface quality of materials. It adds dimension, realism, and emotion to compositions. There are two types of texture. Tactile texture can be physically felt, for example, paper, fabric, wood. Visual texture is created digitally to imitate surfaces, for example, metal, marble, and glass. Designers use texture to make flat images feel three-dimensional, creating contrast and hierarchy. Texture that are subtle help maintain focus, while strong textures are used to create emphasis or style. In branding and packaging, textures are often printed or embossed to communicate quality and uniqueness. Fifth, space. In graphic design, space defines how elements are arranged within a layout. It can be positive, occupied by objects, or negative, empty or blank areas. Good use of space improves readability, hierarchy, and aesthetic balance. Designers apply white space, also called negative space, to avoid visual overload and guide the viewer's eye. Elements that have enough breathing room appear more organized and professional. Elements that have enough breathing room appear more organized and professional. Space also helps establish relationships between objects. Too little space creates confusion. Too much space creates separation. A well-balanced composition uses space to connect or isolate elements intentionally. If a space is managed properly, the reader attention flows naturally. Size. Sixth, in graphic design, size defines the visual importance of elements. When one object is larger than others, it draws attention and establishes hierarchy. Smaller elements help maintain balance and width across the layout. The relationship between size is called proportion, which helps maintain harmony between all elements. Designers often use scale variation to create depth and visual interest. Elements that are larger seem closer or more important, while smaller ones appear distant or secondary. Advice: make important elements larger to grab attention and smaller ones to support the layout. If you vary the size of your elements, you create visual hierarchy and depth. Seventh, typography. Typography is one of the most expressive elements of graphic design. It combines aesthetic form and functional readability. The choice of typeface, size, spacing, and alignment defines how a message is perceived. There are different type categories. Serif fonts, traditional and elegant. Example, Times New Roman. Sans serif fonts, modern and clean. For example, Helvetica. Script fonts, decorative and personal. For example, Pacifico. Display fonts, bold and artistic, use for headlines. Typography is used to create hierarchy by varying font, weight, size, and color. Fonts that reflect a brand's personality help build recognition and emotional connection. If you use too many font styles, your design will look unprofessional, So limit your design to two typefaces, one for titles and one for body text, to maintain harmony and coherence. So that's my presentation about the basic elements of graphic design. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new about how design works. Thank you so much for watching this video.